And finally, Gleason documentary.
Yeah, speaking of films that get you very emotional.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been, some documentaries this year have. I mean, what are the major documentaries we had this year so far?
This year, there's not been.
Can't recall any. What about Wiener?
Last year.
Oh, fuck.
I can't think only from this year. I think this might be the first one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I mean, some documentaries just got you to the core, and I think you can definitely have to add this to the next to that sort of. Yeah, it's because Gleason is a very, very, very sad film.
Yes.
Basically, it's about the life of Steve Gleason, who was a former New Orleans Saints American football player, and he found out that he was diagnosed with ALS, and basically over the next sort of two to 3 years, he films himself with a video diary for his son or daughter when they are born, to see him as he was rather than who he will become with ALS, because he obviously won't be able to talk or move when it sort of gets advanced. So you'd sort of tell from the off that, I mean, for the very first scene is literally just like him speaking to camera like halfway through, where it's like, I want you to remember me as I was, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, this is going to make me cry. And throughout the film, it really does get you exactly where it hurts, because it's a film that, while it does tug on your heartstrings a lot, is still really, really overwhelmingly positive in the way that he overcomes completely this horrible, horrible thing. Because, I mean, while he does sort of degenerate quite rapidly, and it is really, really sad to see, he's such a humble, sort of understanding character. He doesn't really, like, he doesn't feel like he's... He doesn't make a big song and dance over it, and he does sort of break down a lot, but when he's speaking to camera, he's very frank about it. He's very sort of realising that, this is happening, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure my son or daughter has something to see me by and see who I want to be remembered as, and I'm going to help other people who have this disease understand and be supported by it, and know they're not alone. And it's just such an amazing study of him as a person, and just a celebration of that. Even though that you might have something as horrible as ALS, that life isn't over, and it's just wonderful to see.
Yeah, I love this film. I mean, to show the cruelty of life, and let's face it, what happens in this film is bloody cruel.
Yeah.
The fact that he gets diagnosed and then also finds that his wife's having a bairn, he's going to become a father for the first time, is completely. It's just crushing, isn't it? But. It's done in a good way. Like it's pieced together in the right order. I think it's an important thing. It flows nicely. We see a natural progression. I think he's a really interesting, interesting person to make a documentary about. It's interesting. I say interesting, not there. It's always the thing with these documentaries that you need the footage to be there. The interesting story has to have the footage to go along. So like Amy, when I saw that with my mum, we kind of thought, they couldn't make a documentary about us because there's no footage of us. Like, we haven't been filmed all our life. But with Gleason, he's done it himself. He's obviously had the idea of doing it for his son. I think it is, isn't it? Son.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really sweet.
It's just so frank and honest.
Yeah.
About everything in there. Like, I mean, obviously it is a horrible, horrible thing, but it's so wonderful just to see him in there and be like, yeah, this is happening to me, and I'm not going to let it define me. It's a really, really important film as well in that aspect, and it becomes a sort of it becomes like jointly about the ALS and the fact that of the relationship with his wife Michelle Verasco as well, because there's a lot of shots that sort of, as the film progresses and she becomes more and more strained by his condition, that sort of just like define their sort of their difference. As and the sort of their separation as it goes on. But I mean, she's such a devoted, formidable character herself, that she's just as much as a rock as he is, and it's just fantastic to watch these two people struggle but still overcome these horrible, horrible things, and still have a son together who's happy and seems to be extremely.
The relationship with the father's interesting as well. Heavily religious connotations amongst the whole of the film. The different approaches to religion and stuff. So it's complex. It's there's more to it than meets the eye. I thought I'd mention this because I feel very uplifted after it. If you want to read more about the organisation, he's doing great work. teamgleason.org is the place to go if you want to support them or read more about it or stuff like that. Yes, it didn't make me cry, but it was very, very damn close, and that's to no discredit. It nearly did.
Yeah, and it nearly got me as well. It was overwhelming.
So that's all the films. We'll add those 4 to the 3 within the main show. Has your film of the week changed? What was it in the main show? I wasn't really listening. I was too busy dying.
Mine was Lost City of Z.
Okay, is it still Lost City of Z?
I'd probably say Gleason, now to be honest. Or The Olive Tree.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to like this week.
Joey, you saw Aquarius and Age of Shadows.
Actually, no, sorry, no, Age of Shadows. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Age of Shadows.
Aquarius.
Aquarius. I will say it's between Aquarius and Gleason.